Carnival Cruise Lines Dive into Fun, the new travel planner's guide to all things Carnival. My name is James Morant, and I'm your webinar host today. I am from the Trade Marketing, Training and Development Department, and here today with me, I have our guest panelist, Alicia Stewart. Say hello, Alicia.
Hello, everybody.
Hi there, Alicia. Alicia is our Senior Business Development Director of Home-Based Partnerships, and I have reached out to Alicia as a subject matter expert on fundraiser groups. Our webinar topic today will center around fundraiser groups. This is a very, very important aspect of cruise business here at Carnival Cruise Lines, fundraiser. And because Alicia is so well indoctrinated about fundraiser groups, I thought she would be a perfect fit at least, for this particular webinar topic. So we have a lot of information to present today that Alicia is going to share with us. In a few moments, I'm going to turn the reins over to her. But before we do that, let's just go over the topics and the agenda that we have today on fundraiser groups. Here's the agenda of fun that we have today, talking about fundraising groups. Alicia is going to cover the benefits of fundraising groups. She's going to discuss how to find the groups. She's going to share with you how to locate different prospects for different fundraising groups. She's going to show you how it works and also share with you examples and success stories in the past with fundraising groups here at Carnival Cruise Lines. And then she's got a top 10 group tip list. Let me repeat that. She has a top 10 list of fundraising group tips that she's going to share with everyone today about fundraising groups. So with that said, and for the sake of time, to make sure that we get it all in, I'm going to turn it over to you now, Alicia.
Perfect. Thank you, James, and thank you guys for joining us today. We love this topic. So, as James said, I've been intricately involved in fundraising groups with my travel partners, and I think it's such a wonderful type of business. So, let's get started in talking about the benefits. So, what are the benefits of fundraising groups for you? Well, first of all, groups are profitable, and of course, by providing a benefit, it really does help you get in the door because you're offering to support a worthy cause. So when you're going out and talking to new groups and group prospects, you already have a wonderful opportunity to say, hey, I've got something in it for you. So wonderful way to get your foot in the door on new group business. It's, again, a great way to grow your group business. So not only on groups, but it's also looking at getting new individual bookings that might come from people that may have never done travel with you or may not have cruised before, that might just be very involved in a particular charity. You're also building new business, but also creating, of course, goodwill and credibility in the community. When we're talking about fundraising, obviously, we're talking about supporting worthy causes in the community, whether it's something that you're personally already involved in or something you want to be involved in. So this is a great opportunity for you to build that business. And then, of course, the benefits and success of fundraising groups breeds in annuity and referrals. And what we mean by that is that we find typically when you have a fundraising group go, supporting a worthy cause, they look at going annual. So they look at traveling, whether they go every year or maybe every other year. And so it's great business to hold on to and retain, as well as the work gets out about it. And we've seen many successful referral business come of this for our travel partners. So what are the benefits of fundraising groups for your group prospects? This is important for you guys to be able to position with some groups that you might want to go after in the fundraising arena. First of all, it helps that nonprofit organization raise funds with a unique event. So something different, something exciting that people want to do, right? We're talking about cruising. The program is risk-free, which is fantastic. When you're talking about Carnival's fundraising program, what we have to offer to support you when you're out promoting our program is that worst case scenario, we never want this to happen, but if it just didn't fail, they weren't able to get the promotion up and running, and they ended up having to cancel, of course, as long as they do so before final payment, no money's lost. So it's really good for them to know that the program is risk-free and they're not going to lose any money. It's easy to execute. Basically, our program works just like any of our group business. And of course, you will be supporting them. So when you're going out talking to these nonprofit organizations, you You let them know that you're going to be the one helping manage and take the booking, so it doesn't mean a lot of manpower on their side. And typically, nonprofits are very slim in their margins, so they need to know that somebody else is going to be helping do the work. You're able to offer rewards for group leaders to help promote cruises, so whether it's giving them special promotions, discounts, enticements to get them out there and promoting the group can make a real big difference, because you may be able to offer them either a cruise credit or even up to a free cruise. Also, guests that participators support their cause get to enjoy great vacations while supporting their cause. So it's such a fantastic win-win. Not only are, in the end, going to be helping raise money for a cause that is close to their heart, but they're also going to get to go and enjoy great vacations in the cruise. So, again, a win-win for everybody. Also, advertising of the event helps bring recognition to the organization. So we found that a lot of nonprofits are thrilled to work with travel agents on this type of opportunity, because it helps others learn more about their cause and what they're out there doing and what they're raising money for. And then lastly, friends and family typically vacation together. So not only are you going out and reaching out to these nonprofits, whether it's a church or other group that we'll be talking about here shortly, they're contributors, but you can open it up for them to invite their friends and family, which not only means more business for you, but the opportunity for the charity or the nonprofit to get new contributors or new members that might want to participate. Okay, so reasons to book a fundraising group with Carnival. So first of all, we've got very attractive group rates. You know, we are known to be the best value in the industry, so this just makes it very attractive for those who want to participate. We, of course, specialize in multi-generational travel, meaning great for families, great for all ages, of course, fun for all. We also offer so many choices of U.S. departure cities across the country. So we have up to 15 departure ports across the country, so it makes it very accessible, very easy to get to, as well as manage their costs in traveling to the ship to make it more attractive for participants. We also offer an unlimited potential of free cruise berths earned. And what I mean by that is that with Carnival, anytime you're booking groups, we offer one free cruise berth for every 15 full fare guests. Meaning, out of every 8 cabins based on double occupancy, one person's cruise rate would be credited back or free. So this is a wonderful thing because we don't cap it. So as successful as the program may be, if that group keeps getting bigger, and bigger, those free TCs that you're going to earn, free tour conductor berths, are going to be given right back to you. So that's a huge advantage. We also, due to our track record, have the most successful fundraising program in the industry. So it is tried and true and easy to conduct. And we also allow you to basically maximize your results with your group prospects utilizing our fundraising programs. We'll talk about some of the examples and how you can do that here in just a second. So, you know, how to get started? How do you go find these groups? So I know I've met with a lot of my travel partners, and they're very interested in pursuing this type of niche business, but they don't know where to get started. So first and foremost, let's just give you 5 ideas of things that you can be doing. And first is simply asking your customers as well as your friends and family about the organizations they belong to. So it's really just getting some referrals, learning more about whether it's churches, charities, booster clubs, foundations, associations, you name it. There's so many opportunities out there. So start with those of who you know. It's a great way to start brainstorming. Also, getting out in the community and networking, whether it's fleet groups, Chamber of Commerce, through association, or maybe some of you belong to civic groups like Kiwanis or Rotary. Those are wonderful organizations to learn about their nonprofit status and what you can do to help support them and present this as an opportunity. Also, make sure you're marketing yourself as a group specialist. If you're interested in pursuing these types of groups, you want to make sure people know about it, whether it's on your business card or when you're talking out in the community and talking to people about travel. Make mention about this fundraising opportunity. I can tell you first-handed that many of my travel partners, even just in their email tags, will put a line that says, ask me about fundraising cruises. And I know so many of my agents who have gotten groups out of just doing that simple thing. It's free, it's easy, and it really gets the message out to let people know that you have a tool to help them raise for a great vacation. Even going to your local phone book, seriously, you can look under churches or charities, civic organizations, associations, so all right there in front of you. And of course, the internet. We all know that's a wonderful tool to help kind of research and check out different organizations that may be in your area that you can be a part of to find out who the contacts are, as well as what kind of events they're doing and their type of membership base. And then lastly, your own connections. Just simply creating a lead tree, and I'll show you just as an example. I mean, it can be as simple as starting with you, and then, this is just really more of a brainstorming exercise. Write down those, who you know. So your friend Roger, okay? So Roger, what company does he work for? Does he have, do they do some charitable giving for a particular organization? He's part of a union that has a non-profit status. Maybe at their health club, they're doing some things to help raise funds for a cause. Part of a softball team, maybe they have a booster club, they're looking to raise money. So then maybe you're a member at a church. Well, at your church, they can have all kinds of different possibilities, whether it's single groups, senior, citizen groups, maybe it's widowed persons groups we've done, missionary work. Maybe if you're a part of the PTA, you can look at raising funds for that, or booster clubs. So again, as you can imagine, when you really sit down and take even 15 minutes to start brainstorming on your own contacts and connections, you'd probably be amazed at how many opportunities you come up with. So some of the prospects that we've seen that have been really fantastic opportunities out there are things like civic groups. This again would be like your Kiwanis, Rotary, Shriners, things of that nature. Associations. This is also a wonderful avenue because every industry has their own association which provides continuing education for that given industry. At the same time, most associations have a nonprofit status, and a lot of times you can turn it around to use this to bring in funds to the association while at the same time offering educational programs while they're at sea to have each of these individuals get their continuing education. So it's, again, such a wonderful win-win, and yet they're getting to go on a cruise. So really, it's a fantastic opportunity. We've also seen lots of success through YMCAs, whether it's with their full membership or even some of the active older adult programs or silver sneakers. These groups typically have someone that's in charge of their activities and plan a lot of social events. Great lead person to contact about doing a fundraising group. Big Brothers Big Sisters. We've also seen Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts groups, Humane Society, SPCA. We even have, I put hobbyists in there, and I mentioned that because we've had a lot of success with things like scrapbooking groups that help raise funds towards things like breast cancer research. So a lot of these activities can be combinable to support a cause that might be something of interest for all the members to participate in. We've also seen success with PTA and booster clubs that have dealt with us to help raise money for their organizations, scholarship funds, lots of Chamber of Commerce groups. I can think offhand of 5 that I know of that have failed just, business they come on board. They have networking events. At the same time, they're raising money for the chamber, get to know each other better, and they're doing more business together. So it really is a great opportunity. Senior centers, this has been a wonderful opportunity as well. Churches, of course. Hospitals, we've seen a lot of hospital auxiliary groups that have put together these fundraising groups on Carnival and have failed and brought money back into the hospital, as well as different research foundations within the hospital. And then, of course, lastly, I put foundations. So as you can see, such a plethora of different types of groups that you can utilize for fundraising, and there's so many more to choose from. So again, I hope you see this as a great exercise as you're going through and coming up with your own ideas. Okay, so how does it work? At Carnival, we have a wonderful group amenity program. And basically, amongst our programs, we offer an option for us to make a donation to any nonprofit organization. And it basically costs 5 amenity points. So if you're not familiar with our group program, we definitely house this on GoToSeeHow. You can find a listing of all of our group amenities, and it explains our program and then shows that we do have the nonprofit donation that we offer. Carnival donates $10 per day per cabin that's booked into the fundraising group. And this, of course, is based on double occupancy. So at the same time, so for example, with Carnival, $10 per day per cabin. So if you're doing a 5-day cruise, that would mean Carnival would donate anybody that's booked into this group that's designated as a fundraising group would get $50 per cabin back to the organization. If it's a 7-day cruise, it would be $70 a day back. I'm sorry, 70 per cabin back to the organization, and so on and so forth. We also provide free berths. So going back to that wonderful opportunity with no cap to utilize for additional funds. So we give one free cruise berth, a cruise credit, based on double occupancy for every 15 full fare guests, which again would amount to one free cruise berth for every 8 cabins sold based on double occupancy. When you earn those, it's up to you and the organization you work with to determine how you utilize those credits. It can just be credit back that goes straight to their bottom line and that gives back as additional fundraising money. You might want to look at it if you've earned enough to earn a free cabin. Maybe they have the ability to auction that cabin off and raise incremental funds. Maybe they want to sell raffle tickets to give that cabin away. So lots of different ideas, and I'll be sharing a couple of those examples with you. But really, at the end of the day, we give this credits back for you guys to determine what is the best way to raise the most money and maximize the results for the charity. So with our group amenity program, of course, you choose the points, choose the price. And so that's what's so nice about our amenity program. If you are looking and working with an organization and the sale date that y'all determine you want only has 4 points, we enable you to buy up points. So if you needed just 1 extra point, basically it only costs $1 per point per day. So for example, on our program, you needed just 1 additional point and they were going to do a 5-day cruise. Then in order to add that additional point to do the fundraising program, it would only add $5 on top of the cruise cost. So let's say, for example, the cruise was pricing out at, I'll just say $345 plus taxes. Then to add that 1 additional amenity point would just be $5 more. So now the cruise rate would be at $350. And by doing that, you're going to be able to make that donation that we will provide on that 5-day cruise of $50 per cabin. So you can see where there's tremendous value there, and we keep it very reasonable in order and very flexible in order to change up the points as you need for your particular group. And then again, lastly, our free cruise berths are provided no matter how many points are offered. So you will always get that 1 free for every 15 full fare guests, unless we're doing a group promotion where we're even offering even reduced, less, more TC. So maybe it might change into 1 free for every 10 on sometimes we have a particular group promotion going on. So that would be outlined at the time you make the booking. So I'm going to give you just a few examples of what I was talking about. So for example, we had one group that decided they were going to do a 7-day cruise, and they ended up selling 50 cabins. Now, on this particular group, they decided that they wanted to mark up the price. So they have the ability, as you do, you just need to submit for it with Carnival in order to mark up the price. They could raise even more funds for the organization. So they took our cruise rate, marked it up $35 per person, and which ended up being 70 per cabin that they added on. We, of course, donate 70 per cabin because it's a 7-day cruise. So I get that on $10 per cabin per day. So with that, that means they're already getting $140 per cabin donated back to the organization. So pretty lucrative. And then, of course, they decide because they sold 50 cabins, they had earned enough frees to go ahead and they decided to auction one of the cabins that they earned, and it ended up bringing in an additional $2,500. So with all that being said, it ended up raising $9,500 for their charity with only 50 cabins sold. So again, a very successful program. Second example. So this is a 4-day cruise, and this was for an association, and they ended up selling 100 cabins. Now, they decided to mark up the price by $50 per person. Now, this is their choice because with the association, they typically charge their members fees for participating in the education on board. So they added $50 per person, which was $100 per cabin. We, of course, being that it's a 4-day cruise, donate $10 per cabin per day, so we donated $40 per cabin. So when you add those together, that's $140 per cabin that they were raising. And then in this particular case, because they were doing a seminar at sea, they used their free cabins they earned for the presenters for them to be on board. But with that $140 per cabin at 100 cabins, they were able to raise $14,000 for their association. So again, another successful program. And then another example. This is for a church. And this church group decided they wanted to do a 5-day cruise, and they ended up selling 75 cabins. Now, for them, they were looking at keeping the price at as low as possible. They wanted to attract as many of their members to come. So they did not mark up the price at all, but they did, of course, choose the donation amenity with our amenity program. So Carnival would donate $50 per cabin, again, based on that $10 per cabin per day. But they did decide some raffle tickets on the cruise berths that they did earn, and they were able to sell 250 tickets at $5 each, raising an additional $1,250 on top of the $50 per cabin that they earned from us. And so that helped them raise $5,000 to go back to their church. Okay, so just to give you, a couple of true success stories that I've seen and personally worked with. Kiwanis, again, going back to civic groups, you never know what opportunities might present themselves. But one of my travel partners had a very long-standing relationship with their Kiwanis organization, their district, and she and her husband had approached them about doing their district convention on board Carnival. And first time they had ever done it on board a ship. Typically they were going to different convention centers across the state. But they chose to do it on board, and they did a 4-day cruise. They ended up in their district convention having over 750 passengers, and chose, of course, our group's amenity, whereby we would make the donation. And in doing so, between that and the free berth they earned because of all the cabins they sold, they raised over $32,000 to go back to their cause. So tremendous success. In fact, it did so well, and several years later, they did it again. So this was, again, a wonderful opportunity and something they didn't even realize they could do. The second was a church group. And honestly, this agent started out with 25 cabins. And each Sunday when they were at church service, they would make mention of it. It was in the church bulletin. And literally after church, people were coming up to her and making deposits on their cabins, and it kept adding up. Next thing you know, she ended up with almost 200 cabins, or over 400 passengers still from her church. And again, with our donation, they raised over $20,000 for her church. What was so exciting about this is that it did become an annual event. They even ended up putting together a committee that helped her work it and plan it, promote throughout the year. And not only did her church go on an annual basis, but other sister churches across the state found out about it and approached this agent to do the fundraiser for them. So this became her business. So again, you never know where these things might lead you. And then the other example was a scrapbooking group. And this was with one of my travel partners who decided she wanted to help raise money for breast cancer research. And this was something that was close to her heart. She had a personal investment with, and decided that was trying to find out a way to tie in to raise money for a cause she wanted to support. And so we went out to scrapbooking groups and were able to get several scrapbooking stores to promote it. The owners went on board and taught classes, and everybody got to do their hobby, and they were so thrilled. And at the end of the day, they had over 200 passengers go on a 5-day cruise, and they had a wonderful time. They cruised, they spent time with like-minded friends, they got to do scrapbooking, and of course raised over $12,000 to go to breast cancer research. So again, a very exciting story, all very different, but all very true, real to life, and hopefully we want to hear some of yours as well. Okay, so as I mentioned, one of the things you can do is add on to the price. So if a group does decide they wish to mark up the price because that's the nature of the group, they are able to do so. You do need to there's a little form that you fill out with us to let us know that you're going to be adding on to the group if we're going to be acting as the merchant and taking additional funds in, because in the end, once the group sails, they'll not only get the donation, but the money that was added on to the top of the group rate will be given back to you to provide that nonprofit organization. And this would, of course, come from the group department. Okay, we also have a contribution claim form. So once you do have this group designated as a fundraising group, there's just a form that needs to be filled out and given to us just to show that it was for a fundraiser. And then, of course, we will then cut a check to that charity that you had designated, send it to you for you to then, in turn, give to the organization. Again, this form can be will be from our groups department. Okay, so let's talk about some of the tips. So when you're out there working with these nonprofit organizations, first of all, do your research. You want to make sure you're a partner to the cause, and it's something that you're passionate about, because when you're excited and they know you're really getting behind it, they're going to feel it and they're going to want to help make it as big a success, obviously. So do the research. Find out a little bit about the organization. Find out what other events they're doing, because the last thing you want to do is conflict with another event that they already have planned. So again, it's as simple as most of the time you can even Google it or talk to people that are a part of the organization. Secondly, understand their needs and priorities. For associations, those needs and priorities are different than churches, which are also different than civic groups. So again, it's really just qualifying like you do any of your clientele. Same thing with this type of business. Thirdly, present all the benefits of the program. Again, the fact that it's a unique fundraising event, the participants get something in return. So again, it's a win-win. It's risk-free, as we mentioned. Worst case scenario, they can still cancel prior to final payment. They don't lose any money. And you're doing the work. You're the one that's managing the group and going through all the steps. They're just out there helping promote it and getting out to their members or their contributors. The fourth, book early. If you can, the further out you can book, go ahead and make suggested sailings that offer the best rates and amenities. And then collect full deposit when possible. This really does help. We offer a payment plan when you're doing groups, and sometimes you need to take advantage of that depending on the type of group. But it's always good to give them the benefits of going ahead and getting that full deposit in as early as possible. That way, they can go ahead and choose their cabin selection, so they can actually pick the cabin, also select the dining of their choice. Number 5, you want to provide suggestions on how they might be able to maximize the program so they earn as much money as possible. So things like raffle tickets like we talk about, or maybe utilizing a free cruise to do it as an auction, or they sail those, if the more free cabins they've earned or berths they've earned, they can again just turn around and sell those to earn even more incremental fundraising dollars for their charity. Number 6, give them a realistic timeline and set the expectations so they have a role in the success of the program. And what I mean by that is what they really need to step up and do is help promote. That's what they are going to be doing. Your role will be managing and taking in the bookings and working with each of their customers or members to then in turn, make them comfortable as you would any of your clientele. But they need to be promoting. And so by giving them realistic timeline and really communicating back and forth on how bookings are coming through, what's the status, so they can keep up and keep extending it out and promoting to their contributors and members. Also, number 7, when appropriate, promote their group to your database. So in some cases, organizations are going to want you to do this. And others, they may not. They may say this is just closed to their particular members. But it's always something that you can offer that might help get the word out about their organization and hopefully get new contributors as well. Number 8, you want to keep them updated on finance goal. Meaning, if they have a goal of raising $10,000, then it's important to set that goal, plan on that, coordinate on the number of cabins needed to reach that goal, and then let them know how it's going throughout the process. So keep them updated, because that just gives them a little bit more motivation to help promote, and again, they want it to be a success as much as you do. Number 9, make sure you're utilizing our free sales tools to help make the promotion a success, whether it's brochures, group flyers, DVDs, deck plans, you name it. All of that is accessible to you on GoCCL. So we want to make sure you're utilizing those tools to help your program be a success. And then lastly, announce that second annual event on board. Follow up to make sure you're getting bookings right away. So you want to get them while it's hot. Again, this is such a tremendous program, not only to have such a great time, but to support a wonderful cause that may be close to their heart. So go ahead and start talking with the group leader, the contact person you've been working with, to start discussions on the next year or the year to follow, so you can keep the momentum going. Again, again, you always want to work that repeat business, no matter what type of group you're working on.
Wow, wow. That was so wonderful, Alicia. That was so wonderful. I am so thoroughly impressed, and I know I made the right decision when I reached out to you, Alicia. You have provided valuable. I mean, this is literally a blueprint and guide for putting together successful fundraising groups. And I am hoping and I'm wishing that this recorded webinar becomes the most viewed webinar that we have in our Carnival Passport. And for all of you travel
love that, James.
It's wonderful. It truly is. And it shows all of the experience that Alicia has had with fundraising groups, the success with them, and how she has shared this in great detail. These are not just generalities. This is specific. So I'm very, very happy that we're able to share this with all of our travel planners out there. So here's a recap of the agenda of fun that was hosted today and presented by Alicia Stewart. The benefits of fundraising groups, how to find the groups, where she gave very specific examples, different types of prospects. Again, they were very specific. She shared in great detail how the fundraising group process works, gave you bona fide examples of success stories in the past with the Kiwanis Convention, the church group, scrapbooking groups, and raising, funds well over $10,000, $12,000, $20,000. I think that's amazing. That is amazing. And last, but certainly not least, was the list of top 10 tips for successful fundraising groups. So this was incredible. It was a wealth of valuable information. And again, to all my travel planners out there, please, after you view this, be kind and generous and share this with other travel planners that you work with, that they should view this webinar. And I would even suggest, writing down these top 10 tips on effective fundraising groups. So with that said, we're going to move over to the next slide. And this is for all of our travel planners that visit and watch and listen to our webinars. Please record your reward code so that you can report this into your travel agent reward account and enjoy those points. And I'm hoping that they're just climbing and increasing so that you can redeem your points for some of the cool branded Carnival gift items that we have in the Travel Agent Rewards program. So with that said, we would like to thank you again for taking the time to attend our recorded webinar for Carnival Fundraiser Groups. We hope that you have a wonderful day and that this information serves a grand purpose for you and all that you do for Carnival Cruise Lines. And just as our slide says, we thank you for your business, because without you,